How many times have you joined a game of squad only to find that your squad leader is purely incompetent and doesn't know what he's doing? If you're like me and you are absolutely sick to death of that, just like the old adage goes, if you want something done right, do it yourself.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, squad 3, now I've been promoted to squad leader. Because I've not got the squad leader set up, I'm not going to be able to put down rally points easily. If we can try and push north and come from the north of the tunnel entrance, at least we're all pushing together then.
Copy.
In today's video, I want to share with you my tips for being a better squad leader so that you don't have to rely on those other guys that get halfway through a game and then leave. So I'm going to kind of aim this at a level of, presumably you've played the game a little bit, you know what's going on to the extent that you know that a squad leader has the role of dictating where his squad is going and what you're going to be doing within the specific battle that you are playing. With that in mind, I am not going to break down all of the minute basics about the size of the squad leader icon on the map. I'm not going to go into all of that kind of stuff. Instead, I'm going to start with this. At the beginning of the game, decide your squad's role. What do you want to do? What do you want to accomplish from playing a squad leader? Do you want to be an assault squad in which you're pushing the point constantly in the thick of the action? Do you want to build a super fob? Do you want to run a mortar squad and just provide support to the rest of the team? Or do you just want to do a basic team of logistics runs? It's a vital role and it's one that a lot of teams overlook. Yes, it can be reasonably boring, but nevertheless, decide what you want to do at the beginning of the game. Once you've done that, I would go ahead and name my squad accordingly. At the beginning of this game in particular, there was two of us online, my friend Rob and I, and we decided that we were just going to run a Spec Ops style team. We were going to go behind enemy lines, find out the intel on where the enemy fobs were, and just try and provide information to the rest of our team, almost like a sniper spotter role. Now, as you will probably be aware, the difficulty with doing this in squad is the sheer fact that you are limited as to what you can deploy with. With only two of us in the team, we didn't have much option in the way of marksman rifles, but nevertheless, you can still be very, very effective in this role. If this is your first time squad leading, it's usually a good idea to lock your squad off at this point with just a couple of people so you can get a grasp on what is going on. It can be very overwhelming with 8 other people like shouting in your ear, requesting rally points, giving you loads of bearings, as well as having all of the other squad leaders talking to you as well. And if you've got friends in Discord or you have people talking to you in local chat, it can just be insane the first few times that you do it. So as I say, if the server allows, lock the squad off, get used to the concept of what you're doing, get used to your role as a squad leader. The next piece of advice I'm going to give is confidence. Now, whether you are leading a squad for the first time or you've done it 1,000 times, the biggest piece of advice I can give you that is going to be beneficial and helpful is to be assertive and confident. Even if you're not, people aren't going to listen to you if you're asking them to do something. If you're saying, guys, do you think we should go to university? And no one's going to care. No one's going to feel like you're in charge. And as a result, people won't do what you're asking them to do. Without being a complete dictator, you kind of need to direct people. Single out individuals and tell them exactly what you want them to do. With this in mind, an easy way to break this down is to split the team up into fire teams. Now you can do this by going into the actual squad menu, right-clicking on individual personnel, and setting them at different fire teams. This means that later on in the game, you don't have to look at individual people. You can just say, Fire Team Bravo, push the north of University. Fire Team Charlie, you're going to push from the west, and so on. Now, when it comes to setting up these fire teams, what you really need to do is look at your squad composition. What have you got? While you're still at the main base, what you can do is you can select people to take certain equipment types. If you know you're going to be running up against vehicles, you're going to want to have anti-tank. Having a team with 3 LMGs and a marksman rifle isn't going to be that beneficial if you're assaulting head-on and you know you're going to come up against armor. Isolating people and singling them out and asking, who wants to play medic? And if you don't get anyone coming back saying, yeah, I'll do it, they're not happy to do it. Everyone just sort of sits there in the back of the loggy truck quietly. Single them out. Say, right, Rob, I want you to play medic. You are going to be the medic for this particular game. If someone's got a marksman rifle and you need lat, tell them, I need you off that marksman rifle and I need you to change to a lat setup. This isn't so much about being a dictator, but instead more about getting your team to do what you need them to do. Once you've done this, at the very least, break down the squad into 2 fire teams. Now, what you're going to have is you're going to have a base of fire, a fire support team, if you will, in which you will include yourself, a light machine gun, and 1 other. Now, that can be anything from a medic or a rifleman. If you have the capacity for a marksman, it doesn't hurt to have the marksman there with you. but definitely try and add 1 LMG to this fire support team. 3 people should be about enough, and you are literally going to provide an overwatch for the rest of your squad. With the rest of the people set up in Fire Team Alpha, for example, these guys are going to be your assault team. Anytime you're moving somewhere, you are going to take up an overwatch position, and you are going to allow them to advance through fields or open ground while you support them. From there, if they get contacted, your LMG can then provide support and suppressing fire while your assault team moves forward and takes over any compounds. And then once they have control of a specified compound, the roles then reverse and they will provide support to you as you push up. As a squad leader, your role is not to be the spearhead of every single engagement. Instead, you are to sit back. Your job is to keep an eye on the battlefield, and you're going to have the map open a hell of a lot. If your team are attempting to cross an open field and have limited visibility, as a squad leader you can sit further back and you can actually keep an eye over the whole field and say you've got contacts to your northwest, you've got contacts to your northeast. Stay low, push this way, stay low, do that, do whatever, pop smoke and advance. You can direct them accordingly, whereas if you're in the thick of it, it's very, very difficult to do that. From there, the next biggest thing to do as a squad leader is wherever you're going to, deploy rally points. In the back of your mind, the whole time throughout the game, you should be thinking rally points. Squad leader, is it worth you pushing west, try and put a rally down in case the fob falls?
Pretty tanky. Actually, no, I won't. You're much closer.
That is honestly one of the biggest things, or the biggest mistakes that I see squad leaders making. They will push a full frontal assault onto a certain area, and they will have a rally point either too close or too far away from the action. If it's too close, it will go down very quickly as the enemy rotate around trying to flank you or do whatever it is they're doing. As soon as they get within 15 meters, that rally point is gone, and your team is of no use to anyone. Too far away and you can't get back into the action quickly enough, and your team are going to be running for 2 or 3 minutes before they get anywhere near it, by which point you may have lost the cap or you may have lost a fob, or you never know. Speaking of fobs, that is another role of the squad leader. You will need a logistics truck or another squad doing logistics runs for you, but by deploying a radio, you can then deploy a hab. Now, I believe it's within 300 meters you can do this from the radio, so do not put the radio in the hab. Try and keep them a little bit separated so that if they take the hab down, you can still rebuild stuff nearby. You're going to need 2 team members nearby to deploy a radio, so try and stick with your little fire team that you've set up. This is why I said a team of 3 for your specific command team. But assess the map, have a look at what is going on, see what needs to be done. And don't be afraid to say no to other squad leaders. Not everyone knows exactly what they're doing. If Squad 1 is crying out for more help at a specific cap point, have a look at the map. Are Squads 2 and 3 right next to it? If so, do they really need that extra team pushing from, the next cap point where you're setting up a fob? Try and assess what exactly needs to be done and perhaps recommend to the other squad leaders what should be going on. If it's going to take you 20 minutes of walking because you have no vehicle, suggesting to them that you can't actually do that and complete that mission is probably going to be more beneficial, as it allows the other squad leaders to have a look and assess what they're doing. From there, you can say, Squad 2, you're in a better position to do that than I am. Perhaps you can push. But this sort of leads back to that whole being assertive. When it comes to comms, you will need to stay in communication with the rest of the squad leaders. This is a big priority of a squad leader. Keeping everyone on the same page as to what is going on is definitely beneficial to winning and losing games. And with the amount of chatter you're going to get through your headset, don't be afraid to tell your squad for silence for 2 minutes. A quick call over the squad radio of squad silent on comms for 1 second is very, very beneficial to listening into what the commanders are saying. If you're speaking to other squad leaders, make sure to tell them exactly who you are and who you are talking to. Being in the military, basic radio comms is really, really simple for most people, but it takes a little while to get used to it. Don't be too scared about talking over a radio. You obviously don't want to tell your life story at any point, but a simple call of Squad 2, this is Squad 6, we will be pushing towards refinery from the southeast. How copy, over. That is a very quick rundown. That will give them everything they need. They know who you're talking to, they know who they're being spoken to by. They know where you're going to and how they're going to be pushing. This means if they're pushing from a different way, they know to expect friendlies from that direction. Squad 5, be advised, you've got heavy enemy contact to the buildings just in front of you, both northeast and southeast.
Roger that, thank you.
If you find an enemy hab and you stumble across one but you can't do anything about it at that specific moment in time because you've all dropped down dead or something, jump on the map, mark it, and then get on comms. Press that G button, speak to all the squad leaders, and say, all squads, please be advised, Squad 6 has just stumbled across the enemy hab. Check map, grid reference, blah. And then check for understanding. How copy, over. That literally just says, did everyone get that information? Now, I appreciate this is quite a short video, and there are a lot of different details to squad leading. If you enjoyed this video, please let me know exactly what you think about it. And if you want me to break something down into further detail, for example, where you should set up fobs, when you should set up fobs, how best to deploy rally points and where to put them, I am more than happy to break all of those down in separate videos, but otherwise we're going to be looking at a 25-minute plus video here. Hopefully some of this advice can assist you in some way, shape or form. But I'd love to hear your thoughts. What is it that makes a good squad leader? What is it that separates a good squad leader from a bad one? Other than those guys that start the game as a squad leader and about 3 seconds in, after everyone has joined, they jump out and leave someone else to it. Those guys really, honestly, should be banned from the game permanently. Either that or, their house should burn down or something. There's nothing more frustrating than getting halfway through a game and when things aren't going well, instead of adapting, the squad leader just jumps out, and because there's no comms by this point and no one's doing anything, the new squad leader doesn't know what's going on. Oh, it's so frustrating. So please, please don't be that guy. Or girl, it's nearly 2019, we're not being sexist. If you did enjoy this video, please consider hitting that thumbs up. If you don't already, make sure to subscribe, as I'm going to be posting more squad videos over the next few weeks. But until next time, ladies and gentlemen, stay reckless and relentless.